Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Oh, happy Saturday to you.
Oh, happy Saturday to
And
you.
to you as well. Hey, Bridget. Hello. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Andrew. Welcome. There's always this a few minutes in the beginning when we just wait and talk about other things other than movies, right?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm trying to check.
Is the audio good?
Yeah, just my headphones didn't want to connect, so then I played it out instead of in.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, but it was just a second.
So everything's good?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, that's nice. That's good to know. I was thinking about this as I was getting ready for the live stream today. There's a little bit of prep time that happens before the live stream.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I wanted to say, first of all, I want to say thanks to producer Jesse, who's here, who I couldn't do these videos without. And it's amazing that, of all the crazy ideas I have, sometimes you say, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that one, which I think is a good idea. But thanks to producer Jesse, who's here. Thanks to everyone else who comes to these live streams. I know how busy everyone is. It's a busy time in life in general. So I so appreciate it. And thanks, Vanessa, for joining too. Audio is perfect, Vanessa said.
That's nice.
That is good to know. But thanks to everybody that comes to these live streams and watches on replay or leaves a comment. I really do appreciate it. Producer Jesse, yes, we love producer Jesse, of course. And I couldn't do it without you, which I've said many times. I say this when we're not live a lot of times, but I thought I'd say it on the live today because I really appreciate it. And I come up with some pretty crazy ideas, but Jesse says, no, we can't do that. That's not allowed. But anyway, we're going to talk about comedies today. I have such a large stack of comedies over here. Hello, the movie addict. And yes, you did spell it right, Jesse. Yes. We're going to talk about comedies today, but first thing we're going to talk about is we have a vlog coming out on Monday. We're doing these weekly vlogs now, which we're having a lot of fun with. But last week we had our first. And Wayne is here, by the way. I thought Wayne might. We were just talking about Wayne, right? I said I wonder if Wayne will be here today.
Yeah, Wayne says.
From
Canada, right?
Wayne's
Canada
from
right now.
Right, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm visiting my family for the next 2 weeks. I think we forgot about that because we always think if Wayne is not here, he must be on a cruise.
Yeah,
that's what we think about.
Going to be gone for a long time, but not yet.
Not yet. So I'm glad to have Wayne here too. I'm glad to have everyone here too. But we had a first. This is going to be in the vlog next week, which we haven't. So the vlogs come out on. And Triple J is here. Hello from New Jersey. Hello. We had our first tornado warning in this area.
Yeah.
And I've never seen for ourselves.
Not in the history of the location.
Not in the
for us.
Yeah, not from the beginning of time,
right.
but for us we did.
Yeah.
And I never remember the phones going off so loudly. My phone was on my phone was really loud when it went, when the warning went off.
Your computer went off.
I think my computer went off too, but then we had alerts on our phones and everything. Justin is here. Hello from Chicago. Hello.
Oh, Wayne's going to be around for a while.
Wayne is going to be, not until October 24. I love hearing the reports back from Wayne about the cruises. So let us know on that. We've been watching a lot of cruise videos too online. Not that we'll ever go on one, but
probably not.
But we can virtually cruise with Wayne and these other videos that we watch, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So Wayne says, I actually live in Victoria, British Columbia. I believe, wow. Yeah. But I could not believe that we got that warning, and then we were as we were watching the news, and you'll see this in the vlog next week. Also south of Chicago.
Wow.
A lot of folks here today, which is great. But what was I saying? The news was going crazy. The news was crazy.
They'll have some news footage.
They'll have some news footage in there, but I think the news people were really, I don't think they were caught off guard by it. I just don't think they had enough people to really cover it all. They had like a guy who was out in his car storm chasing, which I thought was it was probably a bad idea, but good for good for the channel. But
there were a lot of storms across a lot of broadcast area, I think. And so they just had a lot of information they had to relay to everyone.
Yeah.
And it was also tough because the storms, it was hard to pinpoint where things would be bad because there was the heat from the south was mixing with the remnants of Hurricane Beryl, and
The Burl remnants.
so it was
As I was saying that
they
over
weren't
and over.
sure like where the wind was going to turn.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was hard to tell people like if they would have a tornado warning or a watch or like what the weather would be. It was all pretty busy.
Yeah, but we were sort of in this like this area where it seemed like there were thunderstorms and tornadoes all around us, but it wasn't, or I don't think there were major tornadoes, but I think there was concern that they would, the way the wind was going, that it was going to spin up into a tornado, which is very unusual for this area too.
But it ended up mostly missing us, right?
It did. Luckily, it did miss us, but you'll see us, our anxiety maybe shows through a little bit in the vlog on Monday, a little bit.
Wednesday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The
vlog
coming on Monday, and it's
not to the beginning of time,
but of the vlog. Yeah.
Vanessa said I'm about 20 minutes north of Toronto, which I think, and Vanessa, you can correct us too, but I think there were some heavy storms there too. So, which again, pretty unusual for this area. I'm used to thunderstorms, but not that, not that kind of weather. The movie addict said, I believe we were under tornado watch here. And I think we were thinking it was going to be a tornado watch, of course, but we weren't expecting the warnings. I think the warnings is what, like we packed a bag and everything. I know you shouldn't leave your house when you're in a tornado or whatever, but we packed a bag. So in case we needed to be in like an inner room, we had some crackers and water in case we had to, in case something happened. Right.
Yeah.
So Vanessa said heavy rain, but not as bad as we were expecting. And by the way, I'm going to mention a movie here in the beginning that I think is probably, correct me if I'm wrong here, but one of Vanessa's favorite movies that I pulled today, because we were watching it last night, and it's a comedy. It's one of our favorite comedies. It happened one night. And of course the Criterion sale is going on today too, or this month, but we really love this one. Right. And we're still, I think we're still, we're working on it still, but Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable in this movie, I think, is just brilliant and really sort of a framework for lots of romantic comedies. This one is spine number, what is this? 736, movie from 1934. But I have to say, we were really funny. And I got up last night as we were watching this, and I added to the list to get some plain donuts, because I think we want to have donuts and fried eggs for some reason. It looks so good when they're eating.
Because he's making breakfast.
He makes breakfast in the morning, right?
Because they have to stop. I think they unexpectedly stop because of the rain or something, and so he makes one fried egg, and you get one plain donut.
Yeah, one fried egg and one plain donut.
Breakfast.
I think we were also surprised because they have these cabins which. You have a full kitchen in the room. It was, Clark Gable cooking breakfast and everything, which, was, pretty interesting.
At like the motor inn or something. So you've got like two beds and a kitchen table and a small kitchen.
And I thought it was really funny when she was waiting for the shower. I thought that whole scene of just the camera following Claudette Colbert as she was walking towards the shower, kind of in because it had rained the night before, so there was all this mud.
Yeah. And
she's walking towards the shower and then realizes she has to wait in this line, for things. Vanessa said it's the first film to win all the major Oscars, which is great to know. I wanted to get into more of the special features on this one too, because it's got, of course, directed by the great Frank Capra. But this one has a feature-length documentary that I would like to see about the director's life and career, and some other things too. So if you're interested in the Criterion sale, this one's still available. It was great. We really liked it a lot.
It's also on the Criterion channel.
It's also on the Criterion channel.
The Screwball Comedies feature for this month.
Yeah, so we want to see a lot more of the Screwball Comedies that are on the Criterion channel this month, which is great. If you don't have the Criterion channel, they do these great kind of curated lists of movies. And so I think it's still up on the channel. There's a Paul Schrader feature. There's a feature with New York films. There's Pop Shakespeare, which I'm really interested in watching. So lots of stuff on there. The movie addict said the remake is pretty good too. Wayne said, I watched the Beekeeper. By the way, if at any time during the live stream, if you want to ask a question or share what you're watching or share what you're eating or what you're doing over the weekend, please feel free to do that. Wayne said, it's not a comedy, but I just watched The Beekeeper on Prime. I hadn't seen that.
I think that's a new A new one.
Is that a new one? I haven't seen that one.
I don't remember who I get it from, but I get an email that says like what's popular this week.
Yeah.
That was on the list. I think it's new on Netflix.
New on Netflix, yeah.
I don't know, I guess it's on Prime. Because Wayne says it's on Prime.
Wayne said it was on Prime.
Let's see what it is.
You know, we were sort of in a bit of a slump this week because of the storms in terms of watching things. So when you see, again, if you watch the vlogs, Modesty Blaze is here. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
We're talking about comedies. We thought we should lighten it up a little bit with talking about comedies because we've been talking about serious things and road pictures and stuff like that. But, and if you haven't seen some of our other topics too, all the live streams are up on the channel too. So if you're interested in what we were thinking of for road films or spy films or heist films, yeah, we thought we would, Modesty Blaze, we thought we would lighten it up because we've been talking about so many serious things.
Yeah. What does everybody think about the thumbnail? Because that one took us a long time.
Did you like the thumbnail? I think we were really, yeah. Justin said, I just wanted to get a bowl of goldfish crackers. Happened after you mentioned you had crackers and water for the tin. I think that's all we have. We have crackers that we were going to put in like a. I always talk about having a go bag, and she says you can't have. Jesse always says you can't really have a go bag. You have to have your go bag. Well, what do you say? You have a go bag ready, but you kind of have to.
Well, you're supposed to have it ready, but it's like you're supposed to put all the important things in it. But then, like whenever we leave, like we need to take our wallets with us. We have to take our keys with us, and then you have to like unpack the bag every time. And you can't have like, oh, I put this water bottle in here 2 years ago. Like you can't. You can't.
You have to refresh the go bag.
It's a real project to like maintain the go bag.
I just think it's funny. Every time we have a storm, I say, we got to get the go bag. And you're like, no, we don't do that.
It's a tornado. You're not supposed to leave.
You're not supposed to leave your house.
You only have to leave if there's like damage.
Vanessa said the thumbnail made me chuckle, which it kind of made us chuckle too. We really spent a long time on that. But The Thin Man, what a classic movie The Thin Man is too. I love The Thin Man. I need to get the other Thin Mans. Should I get all those? I don't know. I think Warner Archive has most of the Thin Man films, but if there's another good one, Vanessa, let us know. I think we talked about this one time before, and The Thin Man I love, but I just wonder if the others are as good. Also, we've been doing this thing too, where we do the live streams, and if you can guess what's in the stack, I think I have one movie that nobody is going to guess in the stack that is a comedy. I think, but if you can guess them, we're living. All the notes said, happy Saturday. You guys are living in your own comedy. The go bag. There should be. I'm glad we're talking about comedy today because you and I had a moment. Sometimes when we laugh uncontrollably about something, and we were laughing today. So I thought this is a good time to have the go bag.
The go bag.
You know what? The Movie Attic also. Yeah. Yes, I did pull some Marx Brothers. I love the Marx Brothers, by the way. The Marx Brothers. This is really a good value, I think, for the money if it's still available. It's like $20, I think, for all of the. I want to say this. These are all the. These are the Paramount. These are the Paramount ones, I think. Yeah, but these are so good, and this has extra features on it. It's a little box set. I think this is another one. We were talking about films that I bought multiple times. Sometimes by mistake, but sometimes on purpose. And this one I bought on purpose again to have a sealed copy of it. I like it so much. And lots of bonus features on this one. And I just love the Marx Brothers. I think it's hilarious. These are hilarious. Skulder's here. Justin said, Vanessa said, there should be a stay bag too.
That's like the
well, maybe I can call it my stay bag. I can call it the stay bag until you tell me it's ready to be the go bag. I can't handle it. Skulder says hello.
Justin, we need coffee cake.
In the go bag. We've been loving we have a Wegmans near us, and so we were saying we need some pie. We need more pie.
Well, we got an apple pie last week, and it was really good.
We got an apple pie last week. We had a frozen key lime pie. I've just been eating pie lately. I don't know if that's good or not, but Wayne said I bought the set a couple of years ago. Evan Costello, Meet the Monsters. If you follow me on Letterboxd too, by the way, I'm posting every movie that I'm watching, of course, as I go. And we were watching some Abbott Costello on the Universal Monsters channel on Roku TV, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we caught part of.
That's a good comedy, though.
Was it the Invisible Man one with where they like went into the lab? Was that the
one? I thought there was Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer, which is the Boris Karloff one, I think, isn't it?
Oh yeah, is that the one where they like
I think so.
like doing like they went into his lab and they were all like he drank the wrong thing or something.
Did he?
Oh no, maybe that was the Wolfman because I feel like then he turns it. One of them turns into a Wolfman.
Oh, maybe, I don't know, but we've been having a lot of fun with
I
those.
don't remember which one it is, but she turns into an animal. Do you remember that part?
I think I do. I don't know. We've been watching it so much. I don't know.
And then they were at the bar, and he didn't know that he was an animal. And then the barkeep was like shocked, and everybody was so shocked. But then he didn't know that he had like.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah.
But I don't know.
No, that's the Abbott and Costello where he turns into like he almost looks like a mouse, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's a mouse. But like which?
Yeah.
But which?
I think that was the werewolf
was that
one.
The killer or which? I don't remember which one that one was.
I don't know, but those are great. That's a great suggestion. Abbott and Costello meeting the monsters was fun. Meeting each of the monsters.
That should be its own box set. Abbott and Costello Meeting the Monsters.
That's got to go in the go bag, or the stay-at-home bag. I don't know. Great recommendations too. Yeah, if you think about, but I think at this particular stage, sometimes I have to take a break with all the serious, things I watch, and I end up watching a lot of comedies because I need some laughs. I was watching a Bergman film this week, also Summer with Monica, which I've seen, before, and I thought I need to watch something funny after that, because it's very serious. Or if I'm watching Samaki Kaurismäki films, those are very serious. Any kind of serious thing, I need to kind of balance it out with.
I think Super got it right. I think it was Dr. Jekyll.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it turns out the Mr. Hyde is like this mouse character, right?
No, he's not. No, it's like he turns Abbott or Costello, I don't know which one, into like a creature.
I think it's Costello.
He drinks the wrong thing.
It's Lou Costello. I think it's Lou Costello.
Because he thinks it's like a water, like a water fountain, but it really was like a lab equipment.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he drank the wrong thing.
And then they left, and they turned into a mouse, and he didn't realize that he was a mouse.
I notice when I laugh, my glasses fog up sometimes. It's so hot here.
Oh my goodness.
Vanessa said, "Did you sneak Jaws in your pile?" I don't have Jaws with me, but I have so many copies of it. By the way, we're going to get the Jaws Lego set.
Yeah,
that's on the list.
Yeah,
I don't know if we have to pre-order that, but I feel like we have some Legos here too.
Probably, I don't know. We have a lot of movie-themed Legos. So if you're interested in seeing those, maybe we can show those at some point.
We were talking last week too about the new Universal Studios parade, which we watched twice, I think, this last week.
Yeah.
Because we watched the Universal Studios parade on the Ordinary Adventures channel, and then there was another channel that had it. And I want to go see that because Jaws is like the second to the last float.
Yeah.
And it's got like Quint is on the.
And the Ordinary Adventures video said that it's still in like
it's still like in rehearsals, but
so there might be more floats. Like they said, there might be like a Fast and Furious float. There might be.
I hope they keep that. I hope they keep that going because if it's for a limited time only, would we ever get there to see that?
Because it seems like you remember by August we just learned like Halloween Horror Nights starts in August and that's going to be very busy.
We've been watching some videos on that too. Not that we would ever go to that.
I'm too scared.
But we like to watch it virtually for others to go have a good time. We can enjoy.
Yeah, I always watch other people.
Like to watch other people having fun.
That's not having fun.
Wes Anderson,
I don't like to be scared.
Yeah, the movie addict says that Wes Anderson has some pretty funny parts in his movies. I was thinking about Moonrise Kingdom also. Moonrise Kingdom was pretty funny. We haven't watched that in a long time, but that's a good summer movie, and it's also a comedy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a good one. But anyway, the Universal Parade, Jurassic Park is at the end, and we were talking about with Jurassic Park, right? They hang some strings on the teeth, so it looks like I was like, do they really need that level of detail? I don't know. I'm laughing a lot through this video today, but it is about comedy, right? So
that's right.
But the Jaws ride has the other thing about the Jaws ride too, right?
It's got float. It's not a ride.
Oh, sorry. I want to go on the Jaws ride.
You can't ride on it.
I can't ride. We just looked at the 60s Batman movie too, right? Didn't we just pull that? The 60s Batman movie?
I just pulled it off the shelf because we were editing part of the vlog where we talk about the Batman, and then we were over in the collection looking because we're thinking about watching more animated content like Scooby-Doo and Batman. We have like the Batman we had some animated Batman films, and then I pulled that one off.
We have a lot of Batman, that's for sure. Odyssey, Blaze of Love, Wes Anderson, The Royal Tenenbaums. We were just watching that on the Criterion. That's on the Criterion channel.
Yeah.
Vanessa said, "Have you or Jesse ever seen The Awful Truth?" I think I've seen part of it, but it is if it's on the Criterion channel, we'll probably watch that one next.
I've seen it, but
and I think I have the Criterion for that. But
yeah.
Going back to the Universal float, it's not a ride.
It's not a ride.
But they have they have a character that plays the mayor, right?
Yeah.
And Chief Brody, and they're walking around in front of the float.
Yeah.
And they're arguing about, and they come into the crowd going, "It's safe to go in the water. Everything's fine. Go in the water." And then the chief is like, "No, go. Don't go in the water. There's a lot of sharks in the water." But I thought that was a nice touch, though. Yeah, that's a good one. But I want to go see that. And they have Ghostbusters, E.T. We've been thinking about watching.
I know. Like we watched the float, we watched the parade, and then we're like, "Oh, we want to watch all these Universal films."
Yeah. And that happens sometimes too. You watch one film and then you want to watch all the films with that particular director. But I do, I do love the features on the Criterion channel, so that if you're into screwball comedies, for example, you've got a lot of films to watch, a lot of films to preview too. If you don't have those and you want to order them a physical media, you can do that. His Girl Friday, I think I have that one too, but that's a great one. A lot of older ones too. And The Wedding Crashers, that's a good one. I haven't seen The Wedding Crashers in a long time.
Me neither.
Vince Vaughn was in that, right?
Yeah.
And who was that?
It's
one of the Wilson brothers.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. Mm-hmm. I was confused with Luke Wilson, and it's a whole big thing.
Isn't Christopher Walken in that?
Is Christopher Walken in that? I'm not sure.
The father, because isn't the premise Vince Vaughn wants to date this woman, but she's got a boyfriend or something, and Bradley Cooper's in it. And so they end up staying with the family when they're not supposed to, because they kid crashed the wedding and they don't know these people.
Oh, that's right.
And then they end up in this funny situation because they're with the family for the weekend. And
it reminded me of Anyone But You a little bit, because we liked that one. I thought that was a good one too. So.
Oh yeah.
Anyone But You, right?
Yeah, that one was pretty funny. I was laughing a lot.
Some Like It Hot, Vanessa mentioned too, which is a great one. That's a great one with Jack. I love Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis. First few scary movies, I think you and I watched at least the beginning of the scary movies, those parody movies too. But that's kind of like the.
I like the one with Charlie Sheen.
Was that? Yeah.
Where he plays
Was that Hot Shots though? Because we were watching Hot Shots also, but that's a really silly movie.
Me of, there's a scary movie where Charlie Sheen is he's the main character in Signs, they're spoofing Signs.
Yeah, is he in the first scary movie? I
don't know if it's the first one, but it's the one where they make Signs is one of the main films that they're making fun of.
Yeah. I'm just glad we're doing this one, this topic we may have to do another week on comedies because there's so many.
Because we didn't pull every comedy in our
collection. We didn't pull because that would be half the collection probably, but what was the other one? Modesty Blaze 2 was also thinking of Billy Wilder. Jesse does have a very good memory. Mine is very sketchy.
When I don't.
Mine is very sketchy. I have a very sketch memory.
Sometimes I remember a lot. Sometimes I don't.
You remember a lot. I can remember. Funny enough, I can remember most of what's in my collection. I think we mentioned this in the vlog too, but you'll have a better memory of the vlog than I do. But there was only a couple movies I bought by mistake twice, and one of them is American Graffiti because I think I liked the cover for some reason. I forgot I had a copy of it, and the other one's Caddyshack, which is another good comedy.
I think you partly bought American Graffiti because it had that VHS cover.
It had the retro cover on it.
Yeah. It's just a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, which was very disappointing.
And then I feel one time we had 2 copies of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Did we?
I thought.
Or was it the new? I need to get the new SpongeBob movie because I like those movies too. Those are fun.
Yeah.
SpongeBob. We just watched that big feature about SpongeBob SquarePants, which is 25 years. 25 years.
25.
Yeah, 25 years. Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Can't believe it.
And then that ties into wanting to watch more animated series.
We have been talking, and that might be a topic also. We should write that one down because we maybe animated
films and shows.
Animated films and shows. So it could be but we, because we were thinking about doing like a cartoon Saturday or something where we watch like one cartoon or one animated thing on Saturdays, like Scooby Doo as an example. But when you said I'm not at home, so I can't use my collection to renew my memory. But luckily, up to this point, I haven't bought any duplicates other than those two, and then there's been intentional ones that I buy too. One guilty pleasure movie that I'm going to show today because I feel like it's way at the bottom of the stack here. And by the way, if you can guess which one, there's one that I don't think anyone's going to guess today, but this is a guilt. I don't really feel
both of them are kind of
these are both kind of guilty pleasure movies, but if I really need to laugh at something, and we also, the other thing is about comedies is you and I are always quoting comedies. Always, I feel like.
I know, like, I have a quote in my head, but I don't know where it's from, and I don't want to say it and then have it be like not. I don't know, because I really don't know where.
I don't know, but you know me, I just keep mentioning things over and over again. We were talking about like Cable Guy, for example, right? I'm always quoting Cable Guy.
But I really want to know where this quote is from, but I don't know where.
Yeah, but I don't really think of. Kevin said, "Hi Dave, hi Jesse. Have you seen The Burbs?" Which we love, The Burbs. That would fall under the. Yeah, I love how a lot of these topics fall under multiple categories.
We should have picked that one because it is a comedy and it's kind of like a summer horror comedy. I love The Burbs so much.
Summer horror comedy, yeah, we like that. Super asked, if I'm pronouncing that right, if there's any guilty pleasure movies. I've gotten this question a bunch of times. I don't feel guilty about watching anything, so I don't feel like there's really a guilty pleasure of watching something. I guess I have an issue with the guilty pleasure.
Guilty is like.
Do you feel bad about watching?
I don't feel bad about watching.
I never feel bad about
like,
watching anything.
It's not like I guess it's not guilty, but it's like you don't want to say, "Oh, what did you watch this weekend?" "Oh, I watched this movie again."
Yeah.
Whereas like, "Oh, you watched that."
But if I've been watching a lot of Bergman films as an example, maybe I put this one on just as a like a palate cleanser, but. This one, Step Brothers, I really like this one. I don't know why I like it, but I just find it really funny. I don't know. We're always quoting things from this movie.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, we've seen it so many times now that we're quoting it all the time.
Yeah.
This one's got like, I think is this the unrated version? Oh, this has the extended version. But anyway, this makes me laugh a lot. So if anything would be maybe a guilty pleasure, this one would probably be on that list. Yeah. And also maybe like this one, which, I love, Paul Rudd. I Love You, Man. I think this is a great movie. I really think this is, this kind of falls into like romantic comedy, I think a little bit too, but
yeah,
I love Paul Rudd. I think this is hilarious. I think the whole fascination with Rush, the band, which you can kind of see like on the back here, you can kind of see.
And Lou Ferrigno's
Lou Ferrigno's, and I love Lou Ferrigno. It's kind of random, but we love Lou Ferrigno on King of Queens, right? So.
Yeah. But I should have pulled The Burbs and
The Burbs. I know we should.
I love those ones.
Yeah, the Money People we were talking about last week, right? Hudsucker Proxy is great. The Burbs is incredible. Black comedies are my favorite kind of comedy. Are there any other good black comedies you could recommend too? I'm sure I've seen a lot of those. Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Haven't seen that one.
Me neither.
Haven't seen that one, but I know that's. I think that would fall in the lines of like the Naked Gun or the Airplane movies, which I like, although I haven't seen them in a long time.
Which are kind of like scary movies.
Kind of like scary movies,
yeah. Scary movies, yeah.
A lot of great great discussion in the chat today too. Reality. I never want to admit that I watch reality show. Oh, that's interesting too. We should, that might be a topic. Also, reality shows.
Reality shows are like a guilty pleasure. Yeah.
That I think so too.
I watch way too many reality shows. There were like a few years that we watched like
Survivor.
A lot of Survivor, like a lot.
This is a great comment, Wayne, right? Because we fall into this too. I think here's a story you may not have heard before, but when you and I got married, we were in the hotel because we had a destination wedding, sort of, right? And we caught Southern Charm, that reality show, Southern Charm, yeah. So now every year around our anniversary, we watch Southern Charm.
Well, and it's funny because we got so invested in Southern Charm that we were almost late for our own wedding.
We were almost late. We were watching an episode, and then we were like, "Oh no, we got to go."
Like, oh, is there another one? Because it was on
Was there
cable,
another-
right? And there wasn't any guides,
If
so we
they could-
didn't know how many episodes of Southern Charm
If
were
they
going to
could,
be
if
on.
they could, yeah, pause it.
So then we were like, oh, maybe there's another episode, and then we watched for too long, and we're almost late for our own wedding.
Yeah, for our own wedding.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of trivia there. But
Survivor, yeah, we've seen
Survivor. We love
probably-
Survivor too.
We've seen maybe 2/3 of all the seasons of Survivor.
Yeah.
And like to the point where like we had a tracker to make sure we knew which seasons we had seen.
Then there was that other show that, what is it, Deal or No Deal on the Island or something with Boston Rob.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
there
Deal or No Deal Island.
something like that?
We haven't watched that yet.
Yeah. We almost missed our,
Yeah.
I can't believe we almost missed our own wedding because of reality TV.
I know.
But that is a true
True.
story. But we love that show now, so now we have to watch it. We have to watch it now every year. But I was watching because we have Peacock, and we have Peacock for many reasons. One of it, we have some comfort shows we like on Peacock, which for me, a comfort show is something that I know that I can predict that I like. And you and I have, like, Everybody Loves Raymond. We've seen every episode so many times. King of Queens, over and over again. We watch these shows because they bring us some comfort because we know what's going to happen. There's no mystery about it. So sometimes we can fall asleep to those shows. But Southern Charm, as it turns out, is on Peacock.
Yeah.
Right.
We started watching it a few weeks ago because we got a little behind and we were catching up, and then we watched like half of an episode and I'm like, oh, all right, this is okay. And you're like, well, I need to see what happens.
Yeah, if anyone is watching also, this is another topic. This is a whole other topic we're talking about. If anyone's watching Love Island, tell us what that's about, because we tried to watch that and we couldn't figure out what was going on. Like, they didn't even start the show. Everybody was dancing in the beginning and I couldn't figure it out.
It was like too much of an ad for itself.
I couldn't figure out what's going on.
Turned it on. What is happening?
What's happening with Love Island? I don't really know, but I used to like that show. There was a reality show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Mm-hmm.
That was a show that we talked about. It only had like one season, but that's one that I really liked a lot too.
Oh, what was it? Oh, My Fair Brady. We really liked that show.
My Fair Brady was good for a while.
Oh, and in the beginning, when we were still dating, we watched Gene Simmons' Family Jewels.
We watched, yeah, exactly right. We had to get back. Like, sometimes when we're out somewhere, we gotta go. We need to leave now because we have to go back to see.
We were visiting my mom,
Gene,
and we were like, we have to go back because it's almost
because
time
Gene
for
Simmons' Family Jewels is on.
Jewels.
Yeah. But that was at the time where, I mean, this is years ago, but.
And I think we both independently used to watch Run's House.
Oh yeah, we watched. Yeah, exactly. Run's House we used to watch. Oh boy. Well, this is not. We got into reality TV, but maybe this is a topic for another time.
Reality TV is hard to talk about on the channel because a lot of it doesn't have a physical release. So
That's
it'd
true.
be a lot of like, I don't know, what would we do? We have to like print out pictures and take them to like cases or something? Like, how
Maybe we would.
physically
I think
talk
we have
about
a
it?
couple of them. I think we have a couple of them. We might have a couple of them though, I thought. Because I think, well, I had one season of My Fair Brady, I think, on digital, but.
Yeah, but we still don't have like a physical representation of that.
No, we don't. No, you're right. Modesty Blaze said the Abdominal Dr. Fives is a good black and white comedy horror. We have that one too, but we haven't pulled that one. Kevin said Kind Hearts and Coronets is a great dark comedy. And dark comedies is probably another topic also, but
Yeah.
we're having a lot of fun though, talking about all sorts of stuff. I haven't even shown half of what's in the stack here today.
I know.
If you want to try to guess a movie that's in the stack, go for it. But my mom would not stop watching the Osbournes when I was a kid. I grew to hate Ozzy, which, yeah, I think I used to watch that too. I haven't seen Heart and Souls. Oops, I'm sorry. I haven't seen Heart and Souls. It's about a bus crash with 4 ghosts who were attached to a young, but I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that either, but it sounds
Is
like
that a thing?
that new show where
Funny and serious.
where they move into the couple moves into the house and the house has a lot of ghosts. You remember seeing those previews?
Oh, maybe.
It's
Yeah,
like a
maybe.
CBS show, but I don't know what it's called.
In British English, black comedy equals dark comedy. Oh, interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Oh, that's right. Black comedy equals dark comedy. Okay. The movie addict said one of my father-in-law's favorite comedies is the Hallelujah Trail.
Okay.
I add so many movies to after we do these live streams, I add so many movies to my wish list. I always have a wish list going on Amazon.
Oh, Ghost.
Ghost
Okay.
is so good. The original British series.
Okay, yeah. So the American adaptation is on CBS, but there's a British version, which we would probably like.
We would love that. I think at some point we're going to really look at our streaming services and say, because we're getting rid of Netflix, because we tried Netflix for a month, we didn't like anything on there, and I still have the Criterion channel. But I think at some point we're going to probably get BritBox or
Acorn, probably.
Acorn or something, like that. Because
once we finish Downton Abbey together, we're probably going to be like all in on.
Well, I watched Downton Abbey, myself, and then I think I watched one of the movies, but then we were rewatching it, so that may be like a fall show.
Probably, yeah.
Because I want to see that again. I love Office Space, but it is not in the pile. But that's a good. That's a good one. Yeah, we do have that one. I think we do.
Like a birthday too, didn't it?
I think so. But I used to say when I was working in an office, I used to say, never watch Office Space on a Sunday night because you will call in sick the next day.
Yeah.
Because
I love when he's playing Tetris and eating Cheetos, and he had knocked
there's so many
down
parts I like about
the cubicle wall so he could see the window because his cubicle was right next to like the hallway.
Yeah.
Right, and so he knocked down the wall so he could actually see the windows. And his boss comes over and he's like, "I got a meeting later. I don't have time for you."
I like when the main character goes to see. I can't remember Jennifer Aniston, and she's got flair. She's like trying to figure out how much flair she's got to have on her uniform for the work.
Like, you need to have 10 pieces of flair. She's like, "Do I not have enough flair?" And he's like, "Well, no, it's not that it's not enough. You just need at least 15 pieces of flair." And she's like, "I have 15 pieces of flair." And she doesn't understand what he's trying to get at because he won't say she needs more. And she's like, "Oh, so then more flair then." More
flair is needed. Yeah, there's so many great scenes in that.
They watch a lot of kung fu movies.
Is that the one where also he's got a neighbor who's in another comedy show, but hears things through the wall and stuff like that, and comes over a lot?
He's like, "Hey, change it to Channel 5. That commercial's on again."
He's yelling through the wall.
Yeah.
Downton Abbey is a great show. We need to finish that show. I love that show. I was laughing and crying at that show, probably. Blazing Saddles is my favorite movie of all time. That's interesting too. I love Blazing Saddles. I love Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is amazing.
Yeah.
A little bit off topic too, but I just read the news this morning. And speaking of Jaws, because we were talking about Jaws earlier, Richard Dreyfuss was supposed to appear at a Shark Con, I think in Tampa. And he got off the plane and apparently had to go to the hospital. That made me very upset this morning. I was worried about Richard Dreyfuss. And as long as we're talking about Richard Dreyfuss too, I pulled this movie, which is one of my favorite movies, The Goodbye Girl, based on Neil Simon. Well, it's Neil Simon's The Goodbye Girl. I love this movie. What a great romantic comedy this is. One of my favorites. I remember seeing this with my mom years ago. I remember what seat I was. I remember we were sitting at the front of the theater to see this one when I was going to the theater. As it came out. Mel Brooks, yeah, Mel Brooks. Do it. Oh yeah, there's more Mel Brooks over there too. We could have shown a lot of Mel Brooks today. The Goodbye Girl, Marsha Mason, Richard Dreyfuss. I love this too because it also combines a little bit of. He's in a Shakespeare play off Broadway, and he's playing Richard III, and it's again very funny. This is a Warner Archive release, but anyway, one of my favorites. Dr. Strangelove, that's a great one too. Dr. Strangelove, which we didn't pull, but there's a Criterion release of that one. Evil Dead 2 horror comedy. We didn't get into the Evil Dead as much as we would like to. I think we tried Evil Dead.
Yeah, but I guess I didn't know that Evil Dead 2 was a
lot of people like Evil Dead 2, I think, better than...
Oh, that other one you wanted to say for last, right?
Well, there's one, yeah. Like I said, I think I have one movie here that no one will be able to guess, but I could be wrong. Modesty Blake said, really need a good copy of The Goodbye Girl, US only on Blu-ray. Massive Richard Dreyfuss fan. Yeah, I love Richard Dreyfuss. I think after I saw Jaws, I saw all the things. I saw Mr. Holland's Opus and The Competition and The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz and everything he was in. American Graffiti. He was in American Graffiti. Let's see. Speaking of Mel Brooks, also Young Frankenstein. This is another good one, probably that you could see. With Nail and I is another great British comedy. I thought we were going to talk about reality shows for the rest of the live stream, but we're back to comedy. Young Frankenstein. I love this movie.
We're going to have to watch this soon.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it soon, which we've seen many, many times. But if you have Netflix, one of the reasons we got Netflix is to see the Gene Wilder documentary on Netflix. If you haven't seen that yet, I bought a physical copy of that. I liked it so much when it has extra interviews on it. But he talks about Gene. I didn't know that Young Frankenstein was really Gene Wilder's idea.
He wrote
he wrote a lot of it. He had the idea for it, and then he went to Mel Brooks.
Like Frankenstein fan fiction, kind of.
Right, Frankenstein fan fiction. Yeah, I think Justin said I don't think Criterion has any Richard Dreyfuss movies on it. I don't think so. I think that's accurate. I think that's true. Modesty Blaze said, "With Nail and I is my all-time favorite." I'm sure I saw that. I don't have a copy of that, but I need to get it now. This might be a little bit of a spoiler for the vlog, but a lot of times when we're, Jesse and I are sitting in the office, we were saying, you'll see part of this in the vlog on Monday, but we'll be looking at movies and I'll say, got it, have it, want it, got it. You do that with books too, right? Yeah. So I'll be like, have it. I'm thinking about what's in my collection, but that's what you have lists for, A lot of times you can satisfy your, need to have a movie or something. Just add it to a list. That's, very satisfying.
Yeah.
I love the collaboration also with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. What a great collaboration that was for so many years. They seem to have this great chemistry together, which is amazing.
Well, they're great in Silver Streak, but we can't get Silver Streak.
Silver Streak is one of our favorites. That also, I think the sound of the train helps me sleep a little bit. So that's another reason why. I guess that's a comedy too.
Well, I think it became a comfort film because it was on TCM when I was sick, and we left the TV on, and I woke up and it was on, and then I think I woke you up because it was on. I was like, "Look, this movie is on." Would that
be a topic that anyone's interested in the chat too? Comfort films, because I feel like I might have a few of those. Or, I don't know if you watch films for comfort in any way, but sometimes you need something familiar to see. And I think you're right. That's how we really sort of bonded to that movie, Silver Streak, because because you were not feeling well. We put it on. The soundtrack for that was really good.
Like relaxing. You can do the train sounds.
It was able to. I'm not saying you should fall asleep during movies, but I feel like sometimes if you've seen a movie, you sort of seen it so many times, and it's just very comforting to watch, which we do with TV shows too. Comfort films. Vanessa said comfort films is a great topic, so we have to put that on the list. I think that might be good as we get into the fall, maybe. As we get into autumn, maybe that might be a good thing, because I like the whole idea of the fall and reading more and
cozy horror, probably.
Cozy horror, which we talked about before. All right, comfort films now on the list. I think this one, I've seen this movie so many times too. I was so happy to see more of these films in the Criterion collection, but this one I think is hilarious.
I love this one.
Lost in America with Albert Brooks and Julie Haggerty. I'm so happy that there's going to be more Albert Brooks movies in the Criterion collection, like Real Life and Mother, I think, right? Mother is going to get released, but of course Defending Your Life is in the collection. But if you haven't seen this one, this is hilarious. Albert Brooks is amazing. I love Albert Brooks.
He's in this one too.
Yeah, he's in a lot of films that we've. Yeah, this is spine number 887, and the movie's from 1985. And I love it also when there's new interviews with Albert Brooks. Albert Brooks is somebody I could listen to talk forever because I feel like he's so funny and interesting to listen to. And I first was introduced to Albert Brooks, I think, from Saturday Night Live because he used to do short films on Saturday Night Live. And I always remember one short film, I may have mentioned this before. He was commissioned to do these short films for SNL. And I always remember, the one that I remember the most is when he had the flu, but he still had to make a movie. So he basically was in his bed making the movie. It was, the days before we had, YouTube or anything like that.
Yeah.
And he just had the camera going. He ordered a pizza and he said, I got to make this film. And he seemed really sick. I don't think he was faking it. I think he really had the flu. Right. He had to deliver a film.
The documentary about him on HBO was good too.
If you have Max, the documentary on HBO about Albert Brooks is really good. In terms of silent comedies, Vanessa, I'm glad you brought this one up. Criterion Channel has some great Harold Lloyd films. I love Harold Lloyd, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin. That's a great. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Is Buster Keaton the one that jumps on the car?
Buster Keaton is amazing, and I think that's possible. yeah, it's very possible. But that's also another thing we could maybe cover at some point is, silent films or more slapstick comedy. We talked about Laurel and Hardy, and I just brought the Marx Brothers today, but
It just makes me think of, this film is not a silent film, but I watched it with no sound the other day. The Thing was on, right?
Yeah.
And I watched it without any sound, and it's quite an experience when you don't have the soundtrack to distract you from like the cinematography and how they set up the shots. It's pretty
very
cool.
true. Yeah. You and I started watching things with subtitles on too. I feel like subtitles are helpful lately because sometimes, like we're watching The Walking Dead as an example, and we always turn the subtitles on because sometimes the dialogue is so quiet. I don't understand what they're saying.
The sound mixing is awkward. Where if a zombie is coming and they attack them, it's very loud compared to the very quiet dialogue, which I guess makes sense because you can't be yelling trying to avoid drawing the zombies, but it also makes it hard to hear when you're watching.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give a clue. I was thinking maybe I'll give a clue to the movie. I don't think anyone's going to guess here today, but it is how should I say this? Here's the clue I'm going to do for the movie that's in the stack that I don't think is going to be guessed. But you can go to Google University for this one. Anytime we don't know anything, we say we should ask Google University.
That's right.
This might completely give it away, but the lead track, the song from the movie is a Sturgill Simpson song, right?
Yeah.
And we were watching YouTube this morning, and we thought Sturgill Simpson had he's going on tour again or something.
Where do we know him? Where is he from?
Where do we know Sturgill Simpson from? So if you're interested in the movie that's in the stack, that's a comedy, but an interesting comedy. Sturgill Simpson did the soundtrack, or I don't know if he did the whole soundtrack, but he has the main song, which I think is very funny. The movie addict said the first movie I went to see with my now wife was the Police Academy movie. That's a good one. Police Academy. I don't think we have Police Academy films, but I'm familiar with those.
We don't?
I don't think we do. Shaun of the Dead is fun, but I like Hot Fuzz a lot more. Shaun of the Dead, that's a great one. And as we're getting into as it gets cooler, towards that. Yeah. Wayne said, I do the subtitle things as well, but now because it's old, my hearing is not as good. I think that's probably true for me as well. I'm going to say that's true for me because it is. Although I can't hear what people are saying sometimes in the movie or on the TV show, but I can hear someone closing the door in the apartment building.
Down the hall.
I don't know what it is with the hearing, but yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe how quickly the time's gone by today, but we usually go about an hour, but it seems like we might go a little bit overtime. If everyone wants to go over, we can go over a little bit here.
We still have a lot of movies.
I still have a full stack of movies here. Here's a little known comedy, Amos and Andrew. I haven't seen that one. Yeah, keep those comedy movies coming in the chat. It's very good. A lot of great ones. Which one should we show next?
Well, you could show like this one and this one, because we just talked about these people.
Oh yeah. This is a movie that Jesse and I saw in the theater, which we really liked a lot, which is hilarious, which we could watch over and over again. This is 40, which we really liked. I think we were laughing so hard in the theater at this one. I feel like we laughed a lot. We laughed a lot at this one.
In the theater. Everybody else was looking at us like, what is so
everybody's looking at us like, what are you guys laughing at? We laughed at it so much. Another Paul Rudd film. Jason Segel's in this one.
Albert Brooks is in
this one. Albert Brooks is hilarious in this one. This is 40. So time has flown today, hasn't it? We usually go for about an hour. I looked at the time today and I thought, I guess because we had that little, sidestep into the reality shows.
Yeah.
That's a whole other podcast. This is not a podcast, by the way.
We almost had a Survivor podcast on the channel. Yeah. I think there was 2 episodes, and then
Wayne reminds us that we need to watch Survivor again too. I feel like, but
that's quite the commitment. We have to get a whole new streaming service to do that.
We have to do, yeah, exactly. I thought sometimes you have to get a TV show or something like 1 or 2 seasons of a TV show just to kind of scratch the itch, right? Of a TV show you might like. I have a few of those.
I think there's a few Survivor seasons on Hulu or something on one of the streaming services we have.
Yeah.
But the problem is once we start watching Survivor,
we can't stop.
Don't stop, and then we watch a lot of seasons, And then we're like, oh, we have to watch this one because
Yeah.
this person's in it again, and that person's in it, and oh my gosh, this happens. And then we don't watch any like scripted television because we're busy watching Survivor.
Yeah, I think the thing I learned about it when I was working in offices, right? It's very similar to if you've worked in any kind of corporation, right? When you're watching Survivor, you realize how much it's like real life, right? You never, like, one of the things that just comes to mind with Survivor is if you are joining the tribe, you never try to lead the tribe in the beginning. You don't want to do that. That's going to get you kicked off the island very quickly.
Yeah.
If you start leading the tribe earlier to be, saying we should do this and we should, no, it's a group effort, right? It's a team. It's a team approach.
If you talk about immunity idols on the first day, you're out.
If you talk about immunity idols, exactly, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you start talking about that stuff, you can't do that. Wayne said, what's the difference between a podcast and a YouTube show? I think it's the same at this point because you can export the audio, I think, and make it a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I think traditionally podcasts were audio only.
Yeah.
But now I think they're basically the same.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Something About Mary is really, I missed this one too. The Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Seth Rogen is fun, and Paul, not an Edgar Wright movie though, but that's a good one. Airplane is really good. We just talked about Airplane, which is really a classic. Stripes is good.
We just learned something about Stripes, didn't we?
I forget, but Warren Oates is so fun to watch in Stripes. But I like the beginning of Stripes.
We learned that Stripes was supposed to be a Cheech and Chong film.
Oh, Stripes. Was it really? Oh, Cheech and Chong has some funny stuff too.
It was supposed to be a Cheech and Chong film. We didn't pull those either.
Yeah, Stripes was supposed to be a Cheech and Chong film.
But then it turned out that it became not a Cheech and Chong film. But you can kind of sense the comedy there, I think.
I like in Stripes. I love the beginning of Stripes where Bill Murray's having some issues, and I particularly like when somebody he throws the basketball out the window or something like that. Remember, he's got the two windows, and he's like, throw the basketball up to me, and he's standing out the open window that he's got. Someone throws the basketball through the closed window and it breaks the glass.
Oh boy.
I love that. Justin said, what is better, Airplane or The Naked Gun? That's a hard choice. I think I like The Naked Gun a lot because it really makes fun of a lot of the crime drama films that I like to watch. And I love the simple things like the dome light on the camera. If you watch the beginning of The Naked Gun or what is it, Police Squad, where they show like they show the dome light to the police car, but it's on like a bunch of different things, right?
Yeah.
Not just the police car, but like they put it on other things, and it's just the camera's just driving through. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I don't think we knew this as well.
I don't remember where we learned that, but
it was probably probably like a TikTok video or something like that.
Maybe.
The Movie Attic. Also, the Pink Panther movies. I'm glad. I love the Pink, of course, because you know how much I love Peter Sellers. Pink Panther collection. I wish I had the Blu-rays for this. That's one of my that's one of the things that's my fear of missing out because I missed out on it. The Blu-ray set for the Pink Panther collection. But the DVDs look fine. We watch these DVDs all the time. Yeah. I think the first one I saw was The Return of the Pink Panther, I think was the first movie that I saw. Not A Shot in the Dark or The Pink Panther Strikes Again. I think I saw The Return of the Pink Panther with Christopher Plummer. But wow, these are really funny. Pink Panther.
What happens in that one? Oh, okay. A
lot of friends of mine love Zoolander, which I really like a lot. Right? I think we saw Zoolander. I have a copy of Zoolander.
Yeah, we have that special edition copy of Zoolander.
Yeah, we might go a little bit over today if everyone's around and
I think we should
talk about
we
it.
have a lot of
we could, and we always do like a little. Lately, we've been doing this little post show. Everybody thinks the show is over, and we just keep talking.
Yeah, we
I don't know if that's a good thing,
and then we stay, and then I can see the numbers go down, and I see them come back up because they go do other things.
If you're into the post
they're still alive. What are they doing?
Oh, Modesty Blaze, yeah, Dodgeball. Isn't that a funny one?
Oh my gosh,
Dodgeball. We have to watch that again. I don't think we have a copy of that, but we've seen it a couple times.
Yeah. Well, Vince Vaughn is hilarious. So
anything with Vince. I almost said Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn.
He's in the later seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm, right?
Yeah.
He's a funkhauser.
Mm-hmm.
He's funny.
I almost did a spit take there. I don't want to do that.
Oh boy.
Guilty pleasure. I'll just show what I've talked about this movie before, how much I like this one, Tootsie, with Dustin Hoffman. I think this is great. There's another comedy, and also for the Criterion, because we were talking about the Criterion sale too. So Tootsie is great. I'll try to get through some of these kind of quickly. Gene Wilder, we were talking about too, The Frisco Kid, which I think this is a really underrated movie, especially for Gene Wilder. But Harrison Ford's in this. I think originally, this is another bit of trivia, but I think they wanted John Wayne for this, which we saw in the Gene Wilder documentary, I think, where they wanted John Wayne, but someone went to John Wayne, I think, and said they want to offer you like $250,000 less, and he said no. So they had to find.
Yeah, they tried to like negotiate.
They tried to negotiate him down, and he's like, no, forget about it. But I think this is hilarious. This is another Warner Archive release, which is really funny. I just think this is one of the first movies, or I think after Willy Wonka, I saw this movie and I loved it. It's really funny. Ishtar, funny enough, Ishtar, we watched Ishtar and I like it. I liked it. I love Elaine May. Let me just say how much I love Elaine May. And I was talking about Mike Nichols and Elaine May, and I just love her. I could watch interviews with her talking. There were some interviews, I think, on the TCM channel about Elaine May. I just think the world of her, and the amount of challenges she had to go through to make Ishtar and the other movies that she did. Mikey and Nikki also is a good example of that. How the studio, she would always be having conflicts with the studio on that. Anyway,
well, she kind of has a lot of the same problems that like Kelly Reichardt does, right? Like she has these really great ideas, but it's hard to get people to like back you up.
Yeah, I think whatever you do, follow your, whatever you like. It could be in anything, not in film, but really, if you're really committed to something, it doesn't really matter, right? If people necessarily like it or not. And those films are great. I love those movies. It's
just hard to get like funding to make the movie happen.
Right? I think that's a lot of the challenge today too, is trying to get funding for things. And a lot of, one of my favorite directors is Kelly Reichardt. And I think that she's an amazing filmmaker, but I think it's frustrating in the industry today, probably to get money to do a film. The British version of Death at a Funeral is laugh out loud funny. That's a good recommendation. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. We've seen that one together. Yeah. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. That's a good one. My Cousin Vinny, also really good. Modesty Blaze said we pulled out Tootsie to watch tonight, but then went with Shampoo, which is a great Hal Ashby film. Deuce Bigalow, I haven't seen that. The great John Waters also. Yeah, John Waters also has trouble getting money for a movie. But it seems like that's just the way things are going these days. Lots of, we haven't really talked about this, but lots of stories about original films in the theater having an issue because nobody goes to see them, or not as many people go to see them. I said I had a theory too, which we talked about a little bit, where I feel like if there were more independent theaters or theaters were showing older movies, I might go more. I feel like. Yeah. Like if I could see The Big Lebowski on the big screen, I probably would do that. We've seen Jaws and Jurassic Park, and yeah. So I still have more movies here, so we'll keep going for as long as you'd like to go. But I wanted to say thanks to everybody too, in case you do have to go, because we usually go for about an hour. But thanks to everybody that comes to these. I mean, it really means a lot to us. We have a lot of fun doing these. And we'll have more topics coming up. If you want to suggest a topic, you can always do that. We have a running list of topics, but I think we have a few from today, right? We have silent films. We have comfort films, cozy horror films. We have a lot of things coming up. So we'll try to pick one of those for the next one. We might do comedies again next week. I'm not really sure, but.
Well, maybe we'll do comedies.
We can do another comedy thing too.
Like a few weeks from
now. A little bit, yeah. So many independent films not on physical media. John Sayles, I agree, is barely represented. I think Lone Star, right, if I'm not mistaken there. My dentist has seen Jaws. That's a good one. Good one, as I would say, from the Cable Guy.
We didn't even pull Cable Guy today.
We didn't even pull Cable Guy, but that's one I regularly. Has anyone seen or heard of it? The Alan Parker Irish comedy, The Commitments? I love that. That's a lot of great music in it too. I haven't seen The Commitments in a while, but that's a great one. We love this one. I guess I can. Kingpin. We like Kingpin. We watch a lot.
Gosh, it's
really, really funny. Really interesting. Yeah, this one might be a guilty pleasure film too. But we really like this one with Woody Harrelson and Randy Quaid, and it's really funny. I'm trying to get through as
I
many.
feel like I was thinking about another Woody Harrelson film, but I can't remember it now.
Well, remember Triangle of Sadness? He was in Triangle of Sadness
Oh,
too,
yeah.
which we liked, which was really, which I think he has a great part in that.
I don't know why I was thinking about him, but I was thinking about him for some reason.
Nothing But Trouble is a weird movie. Is that the one with Dan Aykroyd? I think that's the one with Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, the Dan Aykroyd directed movie. Which I didn't realize he directed it. But thanks to you, Wayne, and thanks to everybody else. We're not really going anywhere right now. But we really appreciate everyone that comes to these and everyone that is involved and gives us great suggestions and participates. That's really great to see.
If you don't show up, we're just talking to ourselves. So
which we do a lot. Sometimes I talk to myself without Jesse being here. That happens now too, along with having subtitles on and stuff. But we're going to keep going. We'll keep going for a little while. This might fall into the category of the post show. So if you have to go, we understand. But you can always watch more on replay if you want to.
Oh, that's a good one.
Meet the Parents. We like Meet the Parents.
Dustin Hoffman. He's so funny.
Dustin Hoffman. Oh yeah, Dustin Hoffman. Also, but I was thinking, De Niro. I mean,
hilarious.
De Niro, what an amazing performer, because he's so serious in a lot of things, but he really bridged the. Wayne said, "Sorry, but I have to go." But if you have to go, that's fine. I'm glad you stopped by today. Which movie did we laugh the hardest at? That's a great question.
Which movie did we laugh the hardest at?
Which movie did we laugh the hardest at? That's a great question. Let's see. We'll have to think about that. But I feel like it's probably one of the ones on top, like this one. I feel like this one.
But I'm trying to think of like a movie that like we consistently like still really laugh at, because like Anyone But You, I really laughed at in the beginning, and then other films like like they're funny, but we don't. I don't know that we continue to laugh.
I think it's probably like Step Brothers. I think Step Brothers is one that we definitely. But maybe me more than you now.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. Like Bridesmaids, probably.
Bridesmaids. I mean, that might be a guilty pleasure for me, because I'll say, should we watch Bridesmaids again?
Well, there's like a new movie coming out that's like Bridesmaids and also like Baby Mama, right? What's it called?
Babes? Yeah, which is one that's on my list too. Yeah. Of things. But it could be also this movie. This is one of the first movies I think we share. We haven't talked about this either, but this is one of the first movies we shared together, Four Christmases, which I think is a great holiday movie. Speaking of Christmas in July, this is perfect for Christmas in July. And you want a comedy and you want Christmas in July, this is the one for you. Four Christmases, I think, is hilarious. Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon, but Robert Duvall is in this, and Jon Favreau's in this. And I mean, to me, this is like nonstop laughs. Reese Witherspoon.
So funny.
So anyway, Modesty Blaze said Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, always funny. That's a classic. Notzilla, I haven't seen that. A Godzilla spoof. I'll just say the movie I was talking about that I thought was really funny, which a lot of people don't like this movie, but I like it. And we watched it a while back. Since we're talking about zombie films and comedies, well, we're not really talking about those, but you and I are watching Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But I think this one is great. The Dead Don't Die. I thought this was a great Jim Jarmusch movie, and Sturgill Simpson does the lead song for it, and it's a great little twist on the zombie apocalypse, I suppose, right?
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of Woody Harrelson because he's in Zombieland.
Oh, Zombieland, yeah.
And
Could you say, is that a comedy?
I mean, yeah.
Is that a comedy? A zombie comedy.
We haven't watched it in a while.
That's a topic. Zombie comedy.
Zombie comedy.
I don't think there's many of those, but there's a great wrestling match in the movie. I'm assuming that's
Four Christmases.
Four Christmases, yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wrestling match, yeah. That's another Jarmusch film I need. Yeah. The Dead Don't Die. A lot of people don't like it. I thought it was, we might have been in the mood for it.
Yeah.
But
it's I mean, we haven't watched it in a while, but I feel like it's I think at first you're like, I'm not sure about this, but then like once you start to get it, then like it's pretty
funny. Yeah. If you have any questions too, let us know in the chat here. I think I see a lot of people leaving, so probably this is now we can really get into it. Now we can really get into stuff. So if you have any questions for us, or you have anything you want to talk about, let us know. And I'll show the last few here, and then we'll do a different topic next week. But I love Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which I think is great. This is the DVD This is the DVD. I probably should upgrade this to Blu-ray, but look at how many extra features are on this thing.
I love that the top just says special edition, like on the
Special edition, yeah.
Yeah, like the gold part, like tip it down.
Oh,
No,
like this?
No, like
what am I doing?
This.
This is
this
why
part.
it's the. Oh, sorry. Did I get it?
Oh my god. Just look at it with your eyes.
Anyway, it's a special edition. This is probably one of the this is probably one of the first DVDs I got. I didn't, but I didn't realize it. Now the real show begins.
That's right.
Would you consider? But I said, would you consider Christmas July? Of course we would. Of course, Christmas in July.
Yeah. No, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh, the special edition.
Just like it's a funny movie, and then the top just
says special edition. Oh, without the name of the movie.
Yeah, it just says special edition in gold. I think
that's funny.
Like silly. And the bottom too, I guess, is like that.
That's funny. Oh, the bottom too. Yeah, right. This has to be one of the first DVDs I picked up. Yes, absolutely. We would consider, and probably will do. We probably should do that before the end of the month. We should do a Christmas in July thing. Yeah,
we can.
I was watching. Now this might be a guilty pleasure. Maybe guilty pleasure movies is another thing. I didn't think I felt guilty about it, but I guess I do. I was watching a Hallmark movie last night with Christmas in it. Right? Yeah. Wasn't I? Yeah, because it's on Peacock. Yeah. So I was watching a little bit of the other things. I'm like, oh, what else they have on Peacock?
This is funny too, because remember, I think it was like last July, which is, I can't even believe it now. But
you mean a year ago?
Remember we were watching a Christmas movie, and I was like, really, we're watching a Christmas movie now? Because everybody was talking about it. And it was the one where like the woman like gets amnesia or something. And we started watching it. And then we're like, oh, this is kind of cheesy. But then we stopped. And then we're like, oh, I was like still thinking about it. Like, we should watch that movie again.
Was that the one?
And then it was like off the streaming service completely, and like you can't see it.
But was that a Hallmark movie? Was something else?
It was like a Christmas, like Hallmark Christmas movie.
You know,
and a lot of people were talking about it, and we're like, okay, we'll give it a try. We watched a little bit of it and said, are you kidding me? What is happening here? And then we kept thinking about it, but then we couldn't watch it because it went off the streaming service. It went off the streaming service, and now it's just gone forever. I'm glad
Vanessa mentioned Grumpy Old Men, which is a comforting comedy film. That's another thing, comforting comedy films. I was watching, I'm glad you brought this one up because I was watching the outtakes, the bloopers, which on YouTube, which are on YouTube. And I think we just got, actually, when we went to the library sale, I got both of the movies, right? Grumpy Old Men and Grumpy Old Men.
Because I thought you had the second one, but then I think you like unhauled it because we didn't have the first one.
Yeah. And so we do have those now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever.
Oh boy.
As Good as It Gets. I love that movie. What a great film that is. Jack Nicholson and Greg Kinnear.
Yeah. I feel like we could talk about romantic comedies, but I don't know that we have like that many in our collection.
Yeah. You're right.
Because I have a few, but they're just discs. They don't have any of the boxes, so that's not as fun to look at.
Yeah, but that's okay. We could still show the disc.
The naked disc.
Now the real show begins, but
that's right.
We'll be on for a little bit. I have just a few more movies to show. The In-Laws I mentioned before too, which I think is hilarious. The In-Laws, which I've mentioned many times, but I love The In-Laws, and you can get this on Criterion. Peter Falk, one of my favorites. I won't get into Peter Falk, but happy to answer any question about Columbo. Alan Arkin, classic. I was watching this movie the other day, which I talked about, I think in the vlog, State and Maine, which I thought really kind of holds up. The David Mamet written and directed by David Mamet. I think this is a really interesting send up of the movie industry, especially a movie that's done in a small town. I'm just going really quick here now. Oh, this is a comedy that I saw recently that I like, which this was out of stock for a while, but this one, Shiva Baby, is it good?
Yeah, Shiva Baby.
Yeah, Shiva Baby, right? There's the back of that one. This is great. Sometimes this goes out of stock. So if you haven't seen this one, this is really good though. And it takes place at a Shiva for the most part, but really funny.
It's one of those like funny, like awkward, funny movies, I think.
Yeah.
She's like in this awkward situation and she just like can't get out of the Shiva, right?
But the dialogue is really good. I mean, I think it's hilarious, but, there's Santa Who, where Leslie Nielsen plays Santa and loses his memory. Is that a movie?
Yeah, I guess it's called Santa Who.
Santa Who?
Because he doesn't know who he is.
Oh no. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Also, this is a great Paul Rudd's in this one too, right? Isn't he? Yeah, Paul
Yeah.
Rudd's in this one, right? He plays the surf instructor, right, for this one.
Yeah, forget
Forget
the
Sarah
lemons and
Marshall.
bail.
Forget the lemons and bail. If life gives you lemons, forget the lemons and bail.
That's right.
Classic. This one's really funny. The beginning of this one, I think, is funny. Maybe the I think this one gets really sad, but the breakup, I think, is really funny in the the beginning.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. Vanessa, thanks for joining us today. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone who's joining us. I hope you have a great weekend, and we're gonna go soon too because we have to get some lunch.
Get some lunch. What's for lunch, guys?
What's everyone having for lunch? Give us some good ideas. We're really running out of ideas. I think we're getting very close to getting some kind of a. I don't think we're going to do one of those home delivery services where they have like recipes and stuff.
If anybody could, if
you can recommend
really
some,
loved a home meal service, we probably would try.
If you like some kind of a thing, yeah. What's for lunch? I think we're going to get some. What are we going to do for lunch?
I think we're going to go get some burgers, maybe.
I think we're going to get some burgers, and I think some fries, some mozzarella sticks, because we're trying to eat healthy.
Oh, Modesty mentioned MASH. We have to see MASH. MASH
is so good. Very good. And of course, Donald Sutherland passing away is very sad. Also, speaking of that, I'm glad Modesty Blaze brought this up. But if you haven't seen this one, Shelley Duvall passed away, sadly. But this is a Robert Altman film, also with Shelley Duvall and Sissy Spacek, among others. And this is a great film. If you haven't seen this one, I really like this one a lot. And again, Robert Altman. But a lot of people talk about, Shelley Duvall, they talk about, The Shining, Popeye, and other things, but she's really good in this one. I think we got through the whole stack.
I think we did.
That was a big stack there. So we'll do something different next week, probably. And we have to turn on the air conditioning, I think, again, because it gets very hot in here.
Yeah, it's a bit warm. Today.
But I feel kind of dumb, but I didn't realize there was not a MASH movie.
We didn't know there was a MASH movie. I thought there was only a show.
The original show, which you should see the MASH movie if you can. It's really good. Spaghetti tonight for Modesty Blaze, which we had spaghetti a couple weeks ago, right? We went to the grocery store. Lately, we've been going to the grocery store and getting like the meals that are already done, so we don't have to think about it so much.
Yeah.
Because we end up getting a lot of stuff and then not using it, and so we're really trying to do that. Have a good rest of your day, also.
Yeah.
County fairs this week. Any day could be a carny food, right? I think what happens is a lot of times, again, this is really, post show,
right?
Sometimes we get in a vein of doing some fast food, which we know is not good for us, really, but we like it sometimes, and then a lot of times we get tired of it really quickly, or something happens, or the food's not good, or something like that, and then we're stuck again, right? Because our favorite meal now, we can't have it.
That's right.
For a while, we were going to Taco Bell and getting the Cantina salad, the Taco Bell,
the burrito bowl,
the burrito bowl salad, which was good because we had some salad and it seemed pretty good. It was brand new, I think, at Taco Bell, and we were like that.
I know. We should just move in with Modesty then. Modesty
Blaze sounds like a lot of good recipes over there. But if you want to share, you can leave a recipe on the video.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're eating. But thanks so much to everyone who's joined us today. We really appreciate it. If you're watching this on replay too, leave us a comment. Let us know what you're doing, what you're watching. We do these live streams every Saturday at 1:00, and I usually will post in my community tab the topic. But we're going from a list of topics that have been provided by you also. And so if you have something that you're interested in us talking about, let us know. We have a running list of topics. I'm not sure what we'll talk about next week, but it sounds like maybe Christmas in July might be up there on the top of the list because it's July.
What if we did maybe like holidays in July? Because we could talk about like Halloween and Christmas.
We could, because Halloween Horror Nights.
In July this
Halloween
year.
Horror Nights and maybe some holiday related movies.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks to Movie Addict. Thanks everybody. Thanks Justin. Thanks everyone who joined us today.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. We'll talk to you next week. Tummies are rumbling.